long-term wealth in the stock market is not something that involves flipping a lot of stocks. It doesn't involve having a ton of expertise. It doesn't involve spending all your time analyzing the stock market all the time. It simply involves some basic strategies. And in fact, in case you guys don't know, I sent you all an email earlier where every student in the Black Business School can join this for free tonight. I'm doing a special lecture that I call How to Become a Millionaire by Investing 5 minutes a month, right? Literally not $5 a month, 5 minutes a month. Because it's very straightforward. I'm going to break some of this down for you. And the fee to join is $99, but because you're here, because you're a member of the Black Business School already, you can join totally for free. So just check your email, and I'll send you out the email, or you can also text the word voice to 31996, and I'll send out a text alert to let you guys know when this is going to happen. So let me look at a couple more of your questions. Let's see. Karen Staples says, I recently just DCA'd my way to 500 shares of Matterport. Although it's a small percentage of my portfolio, was wondering on your thoughts on Matterport and should I continue to DCA? Oh, you're talking about dollar cost average. Okay. All right. Matterport. Okay. So one thing I'll say is that if it comes down to a particular stock, put that in the Q&A for next in terms of just log in at the blackstockmarketprogram.com, put that question Matterport is if that make sure that's not the only company you're invested in. You never want to get into what might call the hopes and dreams method of investing. The hopes and dreams method is where you feel like there's like that one investment that's just really going to change everything for you, or that one stock that's going to help you level up economically. I don't think that happens. I just really think that you want to spread your money out because any company can go bankrupt. Even and by the way, let me know. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, give me a yes in the chat if I'm coming through. Okay, I have to check my audio every now and then. All right, so thank you, KB and Natasha. Okay, great. So even if you look at somebody like an Elon Musk, Elon Musk is the richest man on earth, and he looks like he's financially secure, but people don't know he came surprisingly close to bankruptcy many times, and he still does. It's not like this is a thing of the past either. He was close to bankruptcy two times. I can give you just two examples. I'm sure there's others. One was after he sold PayPal for $100 million. He got $100 million payday from that. He blew 99 million out of $100 million to try to start SpaceX. I think that's why his wife divorced him. I can't imagine what his wife must have felt. Financial anxiety is huge if you have a partner that's blowing all the money. And it's really, really huge. I've noticed it's really huge for women. Men too, don't get me wrong. Men have our own relationship with money that makes us unique. But also, I noticed when I wrote my book, Financial Lovemaking, and I was interviewing tons of women about their views on money and relationships, and I was really intrigued by how how much financial security really matters to most women. And so, anyway, so Elon Musk, he goes and he blows all of his money and almost goes bankrupt. He literally came within one pay period, I guess, or one paycheck away, or he had to make payroll, and he literally had one paycheck to go before he had to declare bankruptcy, and his financing came through, and that's what saved him. This is why access to capital is the most important thing that you can that you can obtain, because access to capital, just the ability to use somebody else's money, can make all the difference in the world. When people talk to me about reparations and things like that, I don't just talk about giving Black people money. I think that's important. We should, right? But I also say, look, if you can't give it to us, at least let us use it. Let us use your money. Let us go to the bank, and all of us go to the bank and get a loan right now for $300,000 that we can use to buy a house, or we can use to start a business, or we can use to go even buy stock, or whatever it is. That right there would increase Black wealth tremendously, because it's no different from like somebody letting you use their car, right? So let's say that you don't have a car. So because you don't have a car, you can't get to work, you can't go out and make money, you're stuck at home. That's going to affect your income. So what if somebody came along and said, look, I can't give you a car, but I can let you use my car for 2 years? Would you be able to increase your income in that situation? Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. Would that make a difference in your financial situation? It would make a huge difference, right? Because now you have an asset. You have a productive asset that you can use to generate income for yourself. It's not even your asset, but you get to use the asset. So what you control is damn near as important as what you own. I mean, you want to eventually try to own it, but if you can't own it, you at least want to try to control it. Right? So for Elon Musk, the reason Elon Musk and Donald Trump and some of these other people are able to make so much money and be so wealthy is because they control so much. Even when Donald Trump owned nothing, even when his net worth was negative $1 billion, he still rode in a Mercedes, or he still had a private driver. He still had a big jumbo jet with his name on the side. He still had all those things because it wasn't about what he owned; it was about what he controlled. So ultimately, I want you to focus on both of those things, and not just think that receiving money is the only way that you can actually level up. Elon Musk is not wealthy because somebody gave him a bunch of money. Elon Musk is wealthy because someone let him control a lot of money, and he turned that money into more money because he used that money as a productive asset, no differently from the way you might use someone's car to go out and go to work and make money. The other time Elon Musk almost went bankrupt was the SEC investigation. They threatened him. They said, if you don't sign this agreement, admitting that you did something wrong with the way you've been tweeting about your company, then we're going to open a formal investigation. According to the bylaws or whatever of the debt that he owed, basically there was a clause in there apparently that said if he is ever the subject of a formal investigation by the SEC, then the banks have the right to immediately call in all his debt, and he would have had to declare bankruptcy immediately. He talked about this on Twitter. He said, I'm not guilty. They really just forced me into it because if I had been under a formal investigation, I would have had to declare bankruptcy immediately with Tesla. So think about this. This is the richest guy on earth. This is a very strong company, and it was that close to declaring bankruptcy. So never ever sort of just remember, everything that glitters isn't always gold. And if you dig beneath the surface, you find complexities that you may not be able to identify right off the top of the situation. And in fact, it even reminds me of some of these rappers and stuff that where you think that they're doing well and they have all this money, and then you talk to them about small amounts of money that you think that they should be able to just give away with no problem, and they say they can't. They say it's because they don't want to, but really it's because they actually can't do it, right? Like I would be curious. I would really love to see Diddy write a check. Like Diddy's going to give $1 million to HBCUs, right? I would like to see the fine print of that deal. I would also like to see him write a check for $1 million right now. I would wonder, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Diddy said, "Oh, well, hemmed and hawed and said, well, I really can't write a check for $1 million." It's because Diddy is a paper billionaire, possibly, but that's different from being a liquid billionaire. A liquid billionaire could write a check for $1 million and go right back to sleep. A paper billionaire is somebody whose assets, if you were to sell them on the market right now, would be worth $1 billion. But even then, there may not even be a market that they could even sell those assets for. So if somebody put a gun to his head and said, okay, you're a billionaire, come up with $500 million cash in the next month, or we're going to kill you, he might have to just take that bullet. He probably couldn't pull that off. Okay, so you got to when you're talking about things like net worth and economic standing, just understand that there's just really levels to this. Okay, there's absolute levels to it. All right, so let's see here. Next question. Cedric says that you have to have 100 shares to get a put. Yeah, well, to get a put, you don't have to own any shares to buy a put. Now, to sell a put, you've got to either put up the cash, or to sell a call, you have to do a covered call where you own the shares. Okay, so to buy a put, you don't have to own 100 shares of the stock. Now, when you buy a put, though, you have to buy 100 shares. You have to buy a put option. Remember, puts are insurance. So you're basically buying kind of like insurance on 100 shares of stock. So that all these options contracts are done in units of 100. Now, in that program, drboyceprime.com, that's all about options. And I encourage all of you to, if you really have an interest in options and you really want to learn how to make money from options, and we sell options every single week. I tell my students exactly which options are generating my income. Just go sign up. Go to drboyceprime.com. Everything's there. It's a really good program, and it's designed to help you start making money immediately. The other thing that we added in that program is a family investment club feature where I want you to really learn the details on how to form a family investment club, because if you can pull your money together and work together properly, then everybody's income can go up. Because I invest for several members of my family that I trust and I'm very close to. Everybody's making money. Everybody's happy. I'm the favorite person to talk to at the family reunion because literally I have relatives that are quitting their jobs because I was able to put their money to work for them. And I want you to be able to do the same thing. So drboyceprime.com, that's where you can go to log in. If you're already a member of the program, you can leave your question. Leave your question for me. I will answer it. Also, just like in stock market investing class, I'll set it up in that class as well, where you can call me and you can sort of chat just like this. So there we go. That's what it is. All right. So let's see here. Vanita says, my notes say you like Vanguard. Is that the ETF you've invested in? If not, what basket stock do you recommend? Vanguard has a lot of ETFs and mutual funds and everything else. So there is no sort of one, Vanita, there's not sort of one Vanguard, right? Vanguard has a bunch of stuff. Like think of it like a restaurant where, they've got 50 things on the menu. So Vanguard has a bunch of different mutual funds and ETFs you can invest in. I like Vanguard because Vanguard's just a good company. They're solid. They're smart. They take, they think through their investments, and I don't think you can really go wrong by investing in some of the Vanguard funds. But Vanguard is there. But there's other companies that are just like Vanguard too. So ultimately, you know, it comes to investing, I want to go back to a fundamental idea that the biggest mistake you can make in investing is not doing it wrong. Really, you can do it wrong. Don't get me wrong. You can do it wrong. But the biggest mistake people make is not really doing it wrong. It's when you don't invest at all. Even doing it wrong in most cases is better than not doing it at all. When you don't invest at all, you gain nothing. Like your money just sits there or it goes backward because of inflation or spending and all this other stuff. If you're spending your money or if you're letting it get eaten away by inflation, you are losing. You are moving backward. And so if you think about it, even primitive investing is it's like getting a car that goes 40 miles an hour. Well, a car that goes 40 miles an hour is still faster than any human being in the history of the world. Usain Bolt cannot outrun a broken car that's going 40 miles an hour. So what you got to do is think about it in terms of getting some sort of vehicle that allows your wealth to grow. If you don't have a vehicle and you're sort of operating paycheck to paycheck, you're like the person who's trying to outrun a car. You're trying to run your way to wealth. You really can't do that. You need a vehicle. So even a slow vehicle, even a bike, is better than being on foot. Okay. So really, so tonight, the thing that we're going to do tonight, how to become a millionaire with 5 minutes a month, is basically designed around that, around a discussion related to investment vehicles and ways you can, with very little time, very little money, and very little expertise, literally turn your family into millionaires. You can do this in one generation. I've checked out the math. Trust me, I'm a mathematician. I taught math at the University of Kentucky. I know my stuff on this area. Mathematically speaking, I just really get offended when I hear people act like being poor means you have to stay that way. There's nothing saying that. The biggest obstacle when it comes to breaking out of poverty is really culture. So it's actually culture. So Alondria says, how do you log in? Check your email. So make sure that you are all of you are in the Black Business School, and or you can go to boycewatkins.com and the link is there also. And I will send you guys the link on how to join us tonight. We're going to do this at 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to do this one time, and I guarantee you it's gonna make a huge difference in terms of how you see investing. And the only thing I ask you to do, there is a fee to join for $99, but you don't have to pay it if you're a member of the Black Business School, and you can, even if you have a free membership, you can still come for free. The only thing I ask you to do is make sure that whatever I share with you, that you go start talking to people about it, and that you teach this to your kids. That's me being selfish. That's the legacy I want to have. I only had one biological daughter. I didn't get to have more kids. I wish I could have. Things just didn't work out. I have plenty of guy kids. And in my view, I figured that was God's way of giving me the opportunity to support you in raising your kids. And it makes me feel really good to know that you are teaching your children these things. In fact, if you see me on the street, if you ever want to make me smile, tell me about how you're educating your kids on economics and how I play some part in that. That's something that really makes me feel like this is worthwhile. This is why I get up every morning. This is why I do what I do. This is why I do it so passionately, because it's like really just the ultimate blessing to be a part of your journey in that process. All right, so let's see here. So a couple questions I'm seeing. How do I access the recordings? If you log in at theblackstockmarketprogram.com, THE, theblackstockmarketprogram.com, Look under Ask Dr. Boyce. Ask Dr. Boyce. Chanel, who comes to every class, she records everything and she puts it in there. It's up there within 48 hours. Let's see here. So Alex Alondria says, I registered. Does that mean a link will be sent before class? Yeah, you should have a confirmation in your email that you actually received, Alondria. And I'm going to email another one out to all the students in the Black Business School right before we begin. But once you go to that Zoom page and you register, Zoom will give you a link right then at that point. Let's see here. How much would you ask each family member to invest and how often? It depends on your family members. I mean, for some families, they invest, they maybe get 10 of them. They all invest $50 or $100 a month. And then you're working with $1,000 a month. Some families have plenty of money, though. A lot of people have money sitting around that's not really gaining any interest or anything like that. So for some families, I've seen families where they all invest $5,000 a month. Okay, so all that depends on the situation that your family's in. You just pick up where you are. You just start where you are. Let's see here. Okay, so it looks to me like we've covered most of the questions. Let's see. I think someone asked. I think Dennis is asking: Is Prudential Financial a good long-term buy? As in terms of quality companies, I like Prudential a lot. If you want me to do some research on it for you, which is a benefit of being in this class, just log in at the blackstockmarketprogram.com, leave that question for me, and I'll go look up Prudential and be able to give you details next week. Okay, so as per usual, you guys know we meet every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And we will, and Herbert, that question is again another one. Leave that for me in the WUFU form, and I promise you, my friend, I will answer that question next week, right when we start class. Okay. All right, guys. So I guess I'm gonna head on out. I hope that this benefited you. I hope you learned something today, and we will meet again tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern if you are available. And feel free to just go to boycewatkins.com to get the link, or you can in your email if you're in the Black Business School, which everybody is. And I will send you the link to join us tonight for our special event. All right, everybody, have a good night, and God bless you. And I'll see you guys real soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.